So the truth is, nobody actually called me into this conversation of the console thing. Like nobody asked me to actually, give my input. I had already started breaking away from, being in the console ecosystem around 2016. Kept my PlayStation because of some friends and some, acquaintances that I played the Division with. But by and large, I was hardly playing any game on PlayStation. Don't get me wrong when I say hardly playing. I was still jamming out to Mortal Kombat on PlayStation, but it was just that and possibly maybe any of the exclusives that were coming out from time to time. However, there was something that I saw over and over again. And, people said it. They would say Xbox didn't have games. And there was something I also noticed too. Xbox didn't simply have games that I was interested in. I guess that's how I would put it. When I started talking a little bit about Xbox and how they were advancing their ecosystem, I then started to see the side of, what I think is hyper PlayStation fandom. I hadn't seen it before. I mean, being in the PlayStation ecosystem, you don't have any resistance. You just play PlayStation games. Everybody talks good about PlayStation, but I did not know that there was this vitriol against Xbox. It seemed like it was personal. I guess, according to some people, they said a lot of PlayStation fans seem to be disgruntled Xbox fans from the Xbox One generation. So they have some kind of, animosity towards Xbox as a platform, ecosystem, and console. So I thought, okay, this is interesting. However, the tables have turned. Xbox is no longer, or no one can make that claim and be taken seriously. So the goalpost has to move. When you bear down too hard on something, it's hard for you to be able to turn around and admit that, maybe you may have been too harsh. So now that Xbox has, content delivery that will mask PlayStation for years to come, they have a good problem. The problem Xbox has is which games should be ported and which games should stay exclusive and what should happen. And it is still a surmountable task and a surmountable problem to be able to deal with the fact that you have literally, freaking 4 publishers under you, including Xbox Game Studios, which makes it 5. So Xbox Game Studios is consisted of those studios that Xbox had pretty much individually, either purchased or fostered or whatever. Then Bethesda's one of the ones they bought. Then they bought Activision Blizzard King, which is pretty much a triple publisher in one, and they're running their businesses differently in a sense. So now the question is, which games should be going to other platforms and which games should be coming to other platforms? Also, I've seen a comment where somebody said, Xbox porting over exclusives to PlayStation is not winning for the consumer. Good for the pockets of Microsoft, though. I fail to see how this is not good for the consumer, seeing that the consumer doesn't even have to bother with this video. They already know, if they're in the Xbox ecosystem, that every single game that comes from this pipeline is going to be available to them. Whether or not they want to pay $70 or $30 or $40, depending on the scale of the game, is their business. Also, they have access to Game Pass, where they can go ahead and get a subscription. They can check out the game. If they like it, they can buy it. They can buy it on their Xbox. They can buy it as a physical copy. If there's a physical copy available, they can buy it on Steam. If they want, they can buy it on the Xbox, PC store. So the consumer is actually eating good just by the fact that there's the availability of games. And I think what we're seeing, ladies and gentlemen, is that the consumer has been conditioned to feel special. All these years, Xbox and PlayStation have been conditioning its audiences to feel like exclusives added like some kind of inherent value to their gaming experience. It didn't. The game was what gave you the inherent experience. So at least the game should have given you the experience that you needed. And that was all it was. The exclusivity factor was just them selling you pretty much some kind of a, thing. It's kind of like how do you put it? Like you can buy a bottle of water, in a regular store, but then there are some places that you can go to and you can buy that same bottle of water and it will still be super expensive. All because they're telling you, my dude, you're in this really cool, nice place. And, this service and this enjoyment of this air, the AC air that we're blowing on this bottle of water is different from the regular air that's been blowing on the same exact bottle of water in Walmart or in the gas station somewhere. I think that's simply it. Because when I ask a lot of the Xbox fans that are, concerned about, oh, well, these games are going to go to PlayStation and PlayStation is not going to, reciprocate this. I ask them and say, okay, so do you want PlayStation games? If you ask most of the Xbox, fans, They'll tell you that if they wanted the Xbox games, that they already bought PlayStation game, that they already bought a PlayStation to play these games. And then if you say, okay, and then if they tell you they haven't bought a PlayStation, you ask them and say, well, why don't just go buy a PlayStation if you want to play PlayStation games? And then they're like, well, I'm not really that interested in buying the PlayStation. So what are they concerned about? What's the problem with the games going to other platforms? Now, yes, this is separate from brand identity. You can't expect somehow Blizzard to integrate into brand identity and then lose a lot of the profits that it's making, having seen that part of its acquisition was around $70 billion for the whole package. And keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, you can do the Activision Blizzard thing where you say maybe with the three of them, you can do 33, 33, 33, or you can do, say, 60, you could do, 60, 20, 20, or you can do King 30 and this one 10, whatever you want to do. But these games were already multi-platform for the most part, or at least on PC, where, like, how are you going to get WoW, into the, you can't even port it, so it stays on PC for the most part. I haven't seen WoW on PlayStation. They're just bringing on a console, StarCraft, not yet. Maybe they'll have to do some more work to get it to you. But at the end of the day, the games are available to you on the ecosystem. You don't have to worry about it. Xbox owns it. If you want to engage with it, you go buy it. So inherently, what's missing in the conversation is not that it's actually, bad for the consumer, because it's not. The consumer gets the entire benefit having transactionally given the money that they're willing to pay for it. It's now a matter of how does Xbox actually stay profitable to be able to manage all its resources and steward everything properly. The PlayStation fans have also conditioned the Xbox fans to also think that it's actually a loss, because somewhere, somehow, PlayStation has, basically created also this, aura that the bottle of water, which is exclusivity in the PlayStation land, is something that makes a PlayStation platform special. So for the most part, a lot of these folk have actually, sniffed in that Kool-Aid so heavy that when you actually show them the number of games that are already on PC, there's no exclusive anymore, basically. Right? They'll tell you, well, PC is a neutral platform. It is, but that makes PlayStation pretty much in the same exact position. They really are. Because now their own party just started. Xbox started a party of moving to exactly where it is right now, all the way back in 2016. It kicked it off with PC. It didn't go to PlayStation first. It stayed on PC for a good amount of years. I mean, since Quantum Break, which I think was the first game, that's 8 years. So for almost a decade, Xbox maintained a certain level of an ecosystem, but in that same time, do you know what was going on? People were making fun of Xbox. Like this comment here said, PlayStation fans, PC ports means Xbox brand is diminished. You don't need an Xbox, just get a PC. They've been saying this since 2016. But somewhere, somehow, they are now here on PC. In fact, everything about their whole platform is here on PC. And so now the PC player, like myself, I can expect to get any PlayStation game on PC. I'll wait for it, no problem, but just the same way the PlayStation fan is going to wait for the Xbox game. The PlayStation fans, they made fun of everybody only for them to basically see themselves in the image that they were making fun of over time. It just happened to just mask into exactly the same thing that was going on. So again, if you're an Xbox player and you're concerned about this, you need not be concerned about this. Then the PlayStation fans moved it. When Pentiment hit, and Hi-Fi Rush, 2 small games, right? 2, kind of test out games. They came from the Bethesda. One of them came from Bethesda. Some of the other ones, they said, oh, you see, Xbox is diminished because it's now putting all its games. They went to all its games on PlayStation, on another console. Then we pointed out and said, but y'all are doing the exact same thing next month. And then they give you another, reason. They try to move the goalposts. But Lego Horizon Adventures, you guys know that this is my most anticipated game. It's a dual blade. I can't believe how pivotal this game is. And it's going to a rival platform, the Nintendo Switch, with even PlayStation developers excited about it. So when it comes down to this whole competitive aspect, the corporations are looking out for themselves. They want to leverage and make as much profit as possible. And honestly, if they have a legal way to make profits, let them pursue that legal way to make profits. This way, maybe they can focus on their platforms and actually stop money-hatting deals or crazy deals out there. so that we can actually get games from the third-party publishers who are actually much more focused on the games, while they can focus on, say, maybe their games and focus on the platforms and inherent benefits that come with it. There is a bigger picture more than you just feeling like you have exclusives that you have access to. That's bigger than just, that feeling of, oh, I have these exclusives, but PlayStation gets them, and yet I don't get them. That is something that I would expect from an elementary school kid, to be very honest with you guys, man. It really is something I'll expect from an elementary school kid. I won't expect it from an adult. Because if you've not been bothered already to go play those PlayStation games, then you don't need to play those PlayStation games. You're not interested in them. You're fine. And if the PlayStation fans are excited about the Xbox games, don't see. I think what it is just a jest. People just constantly jesting about it. That's how my fellow PlayStation fans are. They will be laughing while crying inside. They do it all the time. Like, the memes are there to even show the reality of the situation. Like, one of the funniest memes is one where the PlayStation fan is crying and, yelling at Phil Spencer while giving Phil Spencer money. It's this one. I saw it. I mean, I got to put it out here, guys. I don't usually do the memes, but to me, it really did describe how I see some of my fellow hyper PlayStation fans. They put it right here. They said it's a Bethesda game. You had Skyrim, so who cares? I get it day one on Game Pass, but, love how you come out. And then they put this: I hate you, Xbox. I hate you, but take my money, please. Just how they're doing with Call of Duty, how some of them are going to do with Indiana Jones. And whichever other game comes their way, if they're interested, if the hyper PlayStation fans are interested, they'll play. In fact, they're already singing and shouting, saying that they're going to play the Xbox games, at a better performance. They'll play the best version, is what they're saying. We're going to play the best version of these Xbox games on the PlayStation 5 Pro, ignoring the fact that the best version is going to launch on PC day one, while they're going to have to wait for another console port of it. I mean, you can see the game that they're playing, so you're literally falling into the exact same trap and allowing for them to psychologically get at you. This is why I don't engage, in this whole conversation without coming from the industry perspective, with data that's out there for us, with the evidence that's out there for us. If everybody delves into just the console warring and all that, we miss out on what the nuances are. And we start saying things like, oh, Xbox trying to be more profitable is bad for the consumer, when Xbox is taking pretty much majority of its profits and investing it into the consumer's benefit, so that the consumer looks like they're actually in an ecosystem that values their time and money compared to everybody else. Yet somehow, because of the programming, Xbox fans can actually interpret that as a bad thing. It's weird. We need to really unplug a lot of our Xbox folk and a lot of our PlayStation folk from the bubble that they've put themselves in. And this is why I make 20 videos a minute. So thanks for watching the video, guys. Appreciate you all so much. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Peace out.